Did you know that the H.R. 1 for the People Act proposes an overhaul of our current voting system and how it's conducted? Well, today my purpose is to inform you about the arguments associated with passing H.R. 1 for the People Act. I have a personal interest in the topic, and I have conducted research to give you accurate and the most current information about this topic. So some of you may have heard of the changes that H.R. 1 for the People Act may provide, and today you will be able to make an informed decision about whether you support about passing H.R. 1. I will begin with the reasons why some people support H.R. 1, and then cover the reasons why people oppose the bill. With our roadmap in place, I will begin with our supporting reasons. There are two primary reasons on why people support the H.R. 1 for the People Act. The first reason comes from believing that H.R. 1 will allow more accessibility for voting. According to a 2021 article, Congress Must Pass for the People Act, published by the Brennan Center for Justice at NYU Law, every eligible citizen who interacts with a designated government agency such as the Department of Motor Vehicles, a public university, or a social service agency is automatically registered to vote unless they decline for registration. In other words, the accessibility to vote will be easier since anyone in the government database will be automatically registered to vote. The second reason comes from believing that H.R. 1 will allow more political transparency with the political donors. According to Ballotpedia, a nonpartisan online political encyclopedia, the bill will establish requirements in making political advertisements to disclose their top donors and chief officials in disclaimers. In other words, these requirements will allow more transparency on the relationship between the donor and the candidate. And with our supporting reasons done, let's look at the opposing reasons. There are two primary reasons why some people oppose passing H.R. 1 for the People Act. The first reason comes from believing that H.R. 1 would force taxpayers to support candidates that they may not support. According to Ballotpedia, the bill enables Title V, a voluntary public financing system in which donations up to $200 would be matched publicly using a 6-to-1 ratio. So if a candidate receives a donation of $200, it will be publicly matched by $600, forcing taxpayers to pay for a candidate they might not even support. The second reason comes from believing that H.R. 1 violates the current rules of our U.S. Constitution. According to a March 7th, 2019 article, H.R. 1 is for the politicians, not for the people, published by The Hill, which is the largest independent political news in the United States. The bill would violate Article 1, Section 4 of the United States Constitution by impeding our state's constitutionally mandated rights to decide on how elections should be administered. In other words, H.R. 1 will eliminate the state's rights to conduct how they want to conduct their voting, rights that are currently protected. In conclusion, H.R. 1 bill debate is multifaceted. So let's review what we learned today. So the first we learned two reasons why some people support the H.R. 1 for the People Act, which were the belief that H.R. 1 will allow more accessibility to voting, and the belief that H.R. 1 will allow more political transparency with political donors. Second, we learned that there's two reasons people oppose passing H.R. 1 for the People Act, which were the belief that H.R. 1 would force taxpayers to support candidates that may not support, and the belief that H.R. 1 violates the U.S. Constitution. So, now that you have a little more information to help you decide whether you support an overhaul of our current voting system. Thank you.